Hello everybody and welcome to Living in El Paso, Texas. My name is Alejandro Sosa.
My name is John Pena, and in this video we just want to give you a quick kind of little market real estate update post-summer 2024. So I'm going to hit you with some national information and then we're going to lay it on to Alex to talk about some of kind of what's happening locally. So you probably have heard that the Fed has cut the interest rates. Typically they cut an interest rate or raise it by 0.25%. They actually last month lowered the rates 0.5 percentage point, which is pretty phenomenal. And they're talking about lowering another 0.5 percentage point next month in November. And that's gonna have a pretty dramatic effect on mortgage interest rates. This year we've seen interest rates 7 to 8%. It's likely that we're gonna start to see anywhere from 4 to 6% next year, which is gonna be pretty awesome. But let's talk a little bit about this year and what we've seen nationwide. A couple of interesting points. In September, there were 12% more new homes that hit the market than a year ago, which basically means that builders have caught up. You know, COVID was a big hit to builders, supply chain issues, lumber prices, labor, all of that was a train wreck. Now it does sound like builders have finally caught up. They're in a position where they've got more homes that are readily available. We're seeing that here, which we'll talk about a little bit. Nationwide, 30% more homes went on the market last month than a year ago. This is the highest number of active listings since April of 2020. So basically what we're seeing is, and a lot of this was probably spurred on by the Fed cuts, but now we're seeing a lot of sellers who are probably also gonna be buyers next, getting off the sidelines, putting the home up on the market, looking forward to buying a home with a more affordable interest rate. So that's pretty significant. And then one more thing here, in 2024, it sounds like we're gonna have about 4.7 million existing homes sold in the country. That is the lowest number since 1995, which is unbelievable. Basically, it really proves this point that 2024 was a slow year for real estate. It's hard to get excited about buying a home when your interest rate's 7, 8, 9%, especially when we were used to like 3, 4%. So sales are expected to increase by about 10% next year in 2025. Of course, that's pretty speculative, but I mean, it all does kind of square up. 2024 was a pretty slow year. Now interest rates are coming down, inflation has come down, employment numbers are decent, and so it's looking like the real estate market is going to start to kind of make a resurrection, if you will, this next year. So what's going on in El Paso specifically, though, locally in the El Paso market?
Well, like as you said, 2024 was pretty slow, but right now we're starting to see, I think, because of the rates being cut, we're starting to see a lot of movement now, not only with buyers, but also with more listings, right? Like you're mentioning, a lot of people before, they're like, hey, I want to sell my house, but I need to buy a house, and I had an interest rate at 3%, 3.5%, 4%, so I don't want to jump into an 8% or something like that. So it's we're really seeing it change, you know, day by day. And like you said, we're expecting hopefully next year to get better. And you can see it on the new construction as well. New construction before, there was during COVID, like you say, there was no option to get a new construction home, nothing. Now there's more options as well. There's not like 50 options to pick because the market is picking up, but you will find some new construction. Builders are also doing incentives right now. Every builder is different, right? But everybody is offering incentives, and they're kind of, I think, getting ready for the influx of people that are probably, you know, gonna jump. If you look at the numbers, last year, this year, median sales price for this month is $265,000, which is up 3.1%, right? And we've noticed when it's a regular market, 3 to 5% is what we usually see. So it seems like things are starting to, you know, move, I think, in a positive direction.
For sure. And that is an interesting point. We were talking about it because after COVID, 2021, 2022, things went nuts. Interest rates were super low, and we saw home prices appreciate 15% year over year, both years in a row. So within 2 years, we saw 30% home price appreciation, which is unheard of. And if you were selling your home at that time, it was great. If you're buying a home, though, it wasn't that great because Then all of our appraisal values went up to reflect that huge increase. So that wasn't ideal, but you're exactly right. Normal appreciation year over year is typically 3 to 5%. This last year, 3%, that squares totally. What about new listings in El Paso?
Well, new listings, we got 1,005, which is up 15.1% from last year. And again, we talked about this. I think last year it was also a little bit slow, especially at the end of the year with interest rates being so high, and we had just the fear or just people didn't want to, they wanted to be smart with their time and their money. They wanted to wait another year. Hopefully things change, and they're changing now. So I mean, this reflects a lot more listings now. People are, more encouraged and moving forward to selling their house.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a pretty concise and straightforward depiction kind of exactly what's happening on a national level and kind of here in El Paso. We're seeing that ourselves. We're starting to see the buyers starting to trickle in a lot more. Listings are up for us and everybody else, I would imagine. So yeah, things are kind of starting to look up. We always say real estate's a cycle, roller coaster. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. It was definitely kind of down this year, but we're anticipating it being up this next year. So I think that's it, and we'll see you in the next episode.